In order for a culture to maintain itself for more than 25 years, there must be a fertility rate of 2.11 children per family. With anything less, the culture will decline. Historically, no culture has ever reversed a 1.9 fertility rate. A rate of 1.3, impossible to reverse, because it would take 80 to 100 years to correct itself, and there is no economic model that can sustain a culture during that time. In other words, if two sets of parents each have one child, there are half as many children as parents. If those children have one child, then there are 1/4 as many grandchildren as grandparents. If only 1 million babies are born in 2006, it's hard to have 2 million adults enter the workforce in 2026. As the population shrinks, so does the culture. As of 2007, the fertility rate in France was 1.8, England 1.6, Greece 1.3, Germany 1.3, Italy 1.2, Spain 1.1. Across the entire European Union of 31 countries, the fertility is a mere 1.38. Historical research tells us these numbers are impossible to reverse. In a matter of years, Europe as we know it will cease to exist. Yet the population of Europe is not declining. Why? Immigration. Islamic immigration. Of all population growth in Europe since 1990, 90% has been Islamic immigration. France, 1.8 children per family. Muslims, 8.1. In southern France, traditionally one of the most populated church regions in the world, there are now more mosques than churches. 30% of children ages 20 and younger are Islamic. In the larger cities such as Nice, Marseille, and Paris, that number has grown to 45%. By 2027, 1 in 5 Frenchmen will be Muslim. In just 39 years, France will be an Islamic republic. In the last 30 years, the Muslim population of Great Britain rose from 82,000 to 2.5 million, a 30-fold increase. There are over 1,000 mosques, many of them former churches. In the Netherlands, 50% of all newborns are Muslim, and in only 15 years, half of the population of the Netherlands will be Muslim. In Russia, there are over 23 million Muslims. That's 1 out of 5 Russians. 40% of the entire Russian army will be Islamic in just a few short years. Currently in Belgium, 25% of the population and 50% of all newborns are Muslim. The government of Belgium has stated 1/3 of all European children will be born to Muslim families by 2025, just 17 years away. The German government, the first to talk about this publicly, recently released a statement saying, "The fall in the German population can no longer be stopped. Its downward spiral is no longer reversible. It will be a Muslim state by the year 2050.
5-mal am Tag betet Kai Lühr Richtung Mekka. Der islamische Gebetsritus ist fest in seinen Tagesablauf integriert. Doch das war nicht immer so. Der 46-jährige Arzt wurde christlich erzogen, konnte sich Gott aber nie als Dreieinigkeit, bestehend aus Vater, Sohn und Heiligem Geist, vorstellen. In Gesprächen mit Muslimen kam er dann dem Islam näher und ist konvertiert.
Der Islam war die erste Religion, die für mich eine eindeutige, logische Erklärung des Göttlichen hat. Islam heißt ja Hingabe unter den einen Gott. Und Muslim heißt, diesem Gott zu dienen.
Kai Lühr ist nicht alleine. Wie das Islamarchiv unter Leitung von Salim Abdullah herausfand, sind im vergangenen Jahr etwa 4.000 Menschen in Deutschland zum Islam übergetreten. Deutlich mehr als sonst.
Die Motivation zum
People turned to religion to help them cope in the days after the 9/11 attacks, and some even chose new faiths, including Islam. That may be no surprise, since a quarter of the estimated 6 million Muslims in the United States are converts. Delia Gallagher looks at two people who chose that path.
وأشهد أن محمد.
Alison Poole says this phrase 3 times in Arabic and then in English.
There is no God but God.
And I bear witness that
Muhammad
is the messenger of God.
Is the messenger of God.
An American woman who converted to Islam immediately after 9/11. Find out why. Meet her next. Well, she was the girl next door, blonde hair, blue eyes, a practicing Catholic, but after 9/11 she found herself drawn to Islam, a religion she says empowered her. Or what does she think of radical Islam and the folks who want to kill us? Angela Collins is the director and principal of the Al Rida Academy. It's a school for Muslim children in Southern California. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Tell me a little bit about why and how you made this transformation.
I traveled a lot abroad across the world. I went to India and through the Middle East and met Muslims everywhere. And the people that I met were so genuine and generous in their nature. And I wanted to learn a lot more about them. So I came back to the States, I met Muslims here, and they became my friends. And then 9/11 happened, and our entire country pointed their finger. They blamed Muslims, of course. And I had an opposite experience of knowing these people, so I spoke out against it. But then, of course, I'm challenged, and people want to know what Islam really teaches, and I didn't have that knowledge. So what I did is I picked up a Qur'an, and I started reading, of course thinking, here's a book that discriminates against women, does not give them their equal rights.
This is the story of 3 Chicagoans, all raised as Christians, all who've decided to ultimately reject that religion.
Internet is down.
Nadira Rodriguez Muhammad grew up Catholic, but found herself constantly questioning the long-held beliefs of her family.
I always felt that something was missing for me.
Ian Bushner is a law student at the University of Chicago.
I felt like that there wasn't a God.
Whitney Nichols is a new Loyola grad who grew up in suburban Streamwood.
I guess what I was really looking for was what felt most natural and most logical to me.
There are an estimated 1.3 billion Muslims worldwide, and most are not Arabs. Here in the United States, while the Muslim contingent numbers an estimated 7 to 8 million, it's growing rapidly. 20,000 new converts each year, 4 times as many women as men.
Приветливо встретила королеву красоты из Ижевска. Она в большом городе своя и среди своих. Мусульманский платок на голове русской красавицы шокировал удмуртскую общественность. Москва же, по-видимому, привыкла ко всему. Русские мусульманки, конечно, вызывают интерес, но чувствуют себя здесь спокойнее, чем на периферии.
Venons-en au dossier de cette édition consacrée à la décision prise par 30 à 70 000 personnes en France de se convertir à l'islam. Ce sont essentiellement des femmes qui font ce choix. Pour quelles raisons? C'est ce que Pierre Nicolas et Jean-Michel Mier ont demandé à 2 d'entre elles. Écoutons leur témoignage.
Géraldine est fière. Fière d'être bretonne, fière d'être française et fière d'être musulmane. Aujourd'hui, quand elle se promène avec ses enfants dans cette cité de l'Essonne, c'est la mosquée qui l'attire, plus l'église. Avant, lors des journées mondiales de la jeunesse, elle lançait des hurrahs au pape, la croix au cou. Pied de nez au Vatican, c'est le 15 août dernier, jour de l'Assomption, qu'elle a finalement choisi d'embrasser l'islam.
Wie zich bekeert tot de islam is er van harte welkom. De deur van de moskee staat bij wijze van spreken altijd open. Minder vriendelijk kan het worden voor de moslim die zich afkeert van het geloof. Die kan zelfs bedreigd worden. Dat gebeurt in Nederland, maar ook in de landen om ons heen. In Duitsland maken de autoriteiten zich daar zorgen over. Correspondent Jeroen Akkermans sprak met bekeerlingen en afkerigen.
Islam voor beginners. De cursus is bedoeld voor jongeren die de islam en het Arabisch onmachtig zijn. De leraar spreekt Duits.
Ich rufe dich auf, den Weg des Islam zu befolgen. Werde Muslim.
People
people coming into Islam in Denmark in numbers that we have never seen before. When I took Shahada nearly 25 years ago, we were only about 10 or 15 of original Danish Muslims. Today, there are thousands and thousands of Muslims of Danish origin, and every week
الحمد لله